Chapter 28. 2 days in the hospital and Sam might as well have been locked away in Rapunzel's tower. Still hooked to the IV, going to the bathroom proved a huge ordeal. She couldn't put any weight on her legs, so a nurse had to come help her get in a wheelchair. At least her mom let her put on real pajamas so her backside didn't hang out of the hospital gown anymore. Sam hadn't discussed with anyone her running episode. How stupid had she really been? Really stupid. Especially if she counted announcing to the entire ER that Dustin Drake's mother used crystal meth. Not that everyone in the ER didn't already know that, because they actually were treating her for the overdose. But Sam hadn't seen Dustin since. Surely he would understand that she functioned under the influence of heavy drugs herself. How did people ever even use that stuff? Sam wondered. Today was Sunday, so Sam guessed everybody she knew was attending church. Her mother had slipped down to the cafeteria to hopefully find some edible food at the least likely time to see anybody she really knew. Neither one of them had bathed since Friday. Sam was going to insist at some point her mom go home, at least to bathe. She hadn't left the hospital, not one time. Sam knew her mom beat herself up, thinking she neglected Sam or allowed the wound to get so gross. Why wouldn't Sam tell her mom about the running and that it wasn't her mom's fault? The only good thing about being stuck in this hospital, both literally and figuratively, no dreams, no visions. Maybe all the drugs stopped the otherworldly communication. Maybe that's why some people took these stupid things. Sam pondered this point when her two best friends appeared at the door, Natalie on crutches, assisted by Steve. After much squealing and hugging by the girls and eye-rolling by Steve, Natalie said dryly, "You're the only person I'd come back to this place to see. Just had to have some attention, huh?" "Yeah, I guess," Sam laughed. "I can't believe your mom let you come up here." "Who says she did?" added Steve. "What?" Sam was genuinely surprised. Natalie never disobeyed her mother. "I'm not here. I'm at Sunday school," Natalie replied. "I'm at Sunday school too," Steve concurred. "But my mother's here. She'll see you guys," Sam informed them. We followed her down to the cafeteria. I figure we've got a good 10 minutes before we get caught. Steve had obviously perfectly timed skipping Sunday school. Probably not his first time. "I just had to come see you, make sure you're okay. You were really scary on Tuesday." Sam felt the love and concern of her best friends wash over her and heal her, more than the antibiotics being pumped into her veins. "I did something really stupid." And Sam told them all about her run, how she had caused all of this. "You can't get infected that fast, Sam," Steve said. "Not that your little run wasn't really stupid and probably sped up this process, but it didn't cause it." "Really?" Genuine surprise again. "Mom said it was from whatever cut you, and the antibiotics they put you on last week weren't strong enough," Natalie added. She used that as an example of why I had to stay in the hospital here so long and why I still can't come back to school. Church today is kind of a test run to see if I can handle being out in public again. Just call me leper. "Both of you are lepers. I feel unclean just being around you two," Steve joked. His dry, sarcastic tone somehow reminded Sam of Dustin. "Dustin Drake's mom is up here. I guess she's still here. She OD'd." "Rock told me about your little drug-induced truth session," Steve said. "Where'd you see Rock?" Sam questioned. "When I was up here after your surgery. Man, you were really high." Steve had been here? Rock had been here. Her parents had been here. Now Natalie was here. Even though she felt pretty lousy, Sam felt better than she had in months. Sam didn't realize until this very moment just how alone she had been feeling, truly alone. Sam's joy in the presence of her real friends resembled a cat lounging in a sunbeam. Just as the warmth of the sun really sank in, Hazel and Leon Flynn burst on the scene. "How's my granddaughter feeling?" Pops Flynn kissed her on the cheek, and Gigi Flynn began fussing, fluffing her pillow, and making an attempt to tame her hair. Natalie and Steve backed out of the room quietly, not really even noticed by the elder Flynns. Natalie smiled and waved and blew kisses. Steve mouthed something like good luck, just as Hazel Flynn pulled out a hairbrush from her purse and started combing, the grooming much more painful than the IV. When Lisa Flynn returned from the cafeteria, more family greetings took place. The rest of the Flynn clan arrived from church. Her sisters, loud, JT, hungry, Sam's head pounding from all the noise. Sam found herself wishing everyone would just go away and leave her alone. Then she remembered just how happy she had been only an hour before when Steve and Natalie were there, and she hadn't been alone for a change. So Sam closed her eyes and tried to block out all of the input and simply feel the sun on her skin. She could take it. Sam had wanted nothing more than to be alone for weeks. And now that she remembered what it felt like to be surrounded by people who loved her, she savored that feeling like a warm fudge brownie. Then they all left. Sam couldn't believe that her mom left too. She hadn't been gone the entire hospital stay. But she hadn't been home in days with JT. And now that he had a grip on Lisa Flynn, there was no way he was letting go. His screams of terror and defiance that came from that little tiny body, they could have awoken the entire morgue. So Sam's mom heaved a heavy sigh, kissed Sam on the forehead, told her to get some rest, and that she would be back as soon as JT went down for his nap. That was, if JT went down for a nap. So here Sam sat, alone, in a hospital bed, tubes sticking out of everywhere, legs throbbing like crazy, itchy, nauseous from all the pain medicine. Alone again. The self-pity descended like a sunset. Night encroached on her few moments of happiness, threatening to snuff them out like a candle. Sam wondered what this night would bring. Would the voices return? What about the demons? Would lust appear with her dagger-point fingernails? Or maybe anger with his beautiful red lips and delicious smile and razor legs? Perhaps some new horror waited to meet her. That thought sent a shiver all the way from Sam's head to her toes, and she pulled the blankets tightly around her, protectively trying to block out the cold. Fatigue flooded over her, real fatigue, a kind of weariness that isn't simply physical, but emotional and spiritual. Every part of her ached, from her swollen, infected leg to her broken and lonely heart. The warmth of the sun she so briefly possessed, the oppressive darkness of her hospital room now obliterated. Sam decided to close her eyes and let the night have her. And a soft knock rapped on her door. "Come in." Her voice, a weak whisper. The figure hovering in the doorway massively. It filled the entire space. Sam thought she was having another vision. Maybe this time, another nightmare. A giant, ready to deal the final crushing blow. When the person stepped fully into the room, he revealed the warm, kind smile of Rock Harrison. As instantly as it arrived, darkness fled. One warm smile from this gentle giant put all the night in a slingshot and flung it out the window. Tears welled up in Sam's eyes as she let them fall down. Rock wouldn't think she was nuts. Crying teenagers? Part of his job description. Rough week. It wasn't a question. A simple statement of fact. Sam didn't have to respond, but just a simple nod of her head. Feeling sorry for yourself. Accurate statement. More tears. When they kind of played their chorus out, Sam opened her eyes. Rock didn't tower over her, but sat next to her bed, staring at her with kind eyes. Open heart. I've really messed up. Sam felt the vibration in her throat, so she knew she had spoken aloud. But she didn't recognize the voice as her own. Pretty much. But a big smile broke out on Rock's face. His tone didn't judge, just stated fact. It's good to know you're human, Rock continued. What do you mean? Sam stared confused. So Rock gave Sam the world's assessment of Samantha Lynn Flynn. Let's see. She's the oldest daughter of the best kindergarten teacher in the community and the former baseball star, current vice principal, who will be principal when Mr. Griffin retires. She's a phenomenal athlete with Division I colleges already looking at her, and she is only a sophomore. She makes straight A's in all honors classes with apparently very little effort. She's a leader in her church and really walks the walk. Not just a good Christmas and Easter Christian. That means she's kind to everyone she meets and apparently doesn't have enemies. Everyone seems to really like her because she's loving, genuinely nice, and beautiful to boot. A real angel on earth. So she has a huge target on her chest that says, Satan, aim here. Right over her heart. Sam blinked a few times as the tears dried, and she stared blankly at Rock. Who was he talking about? She was certainly none of those things. None of that's true. Rock's laughter rang through her room as loudly as JT's cries. That's something I left out. Humble. You don't see yourself as a leader. And that's another gift you have. Humility. What are you talking about? Sam replied. I'm not a leader. I hate people. They bug me, especially stupid people. Rock continued to laugh, but Sam didn't get irritated or frustrated like she normally would when someone made fun of her. You may feel that way on the inside sometimes, but we all do. The point is, you never show it on the outside. You treat everyone the same. Not many people do that. Sam just stared blankly. Look, you are in a leadership position in this community, whether you want to be or not, just based on your mom and dad. People watch you to see how you're going to behave. Are you going to be the perfect little daughter who minds mom and dad always, or are you going to mess up? Everyone watches, just waiting for you to fail, so they can cheer and feel better about themselves. It's what humans do. Thank God that we don't have to see things the way the world does, the way God does. And He sees His perfect creation who messed up, just like He knew she would, but whom He will forgive in an instant. All she has to do is ask. As a matter of fact, I bet He's already forgiven you. The problem is, I bet Satan won't let you forgive yourself. And there it crept, the darkness. The mention of his name brought him there as real as rock, but so much bigger, unseen but felt all around Sam, like the swirl of a tornado taking her straight to hell, not to Oz. Sam drowned in this darkness, wave after wave crashing down on her, crushing her into this oblivion. Sam wept. Heaving sobs, the pain and fear and confusion and loneliness of this last 3 months squeezed her so tightly that she couldn't catch her breath. The harder she gulped for air, the tighter Satan crushed her, and her stomach burned as the acid flowed back up her throat until her heart felt like it would burst. Sam didn't know how long she cried, but when the flood finally began to ebb, she noticed Rock sitting silently in the chair, hands folded, head bowed, the universal sign of prayer. "I'm so sorry." Sam choked on her words. Rock opened his eyes and smiled. He pulled out a small, tattered, and worn book and began to read. "I am not overstating it when I say that the man who caused all the trouble hurt all of you more than he hurt me. Most of you opposed him, and that was punishment enough. Now, however, it is time to forgive and comfort. Otherwise, he may be overcome by discouragement. So I urge you now to reaffirm your love for him. I wrote to you as I did to test you and see if you would fully comply with my instructions. When you forgive this man, I forgive him too. And when I forgive whatever needs to be forgiven, I do so with Christ's authority for your benefit, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes." 2 Corinthians 2, 5 through 11. Sam heard the rustle of the thin pages turning, a crisp, clean sound, a familiar sound, a comforting sound. "For you are all children of the light and of the day. We don't belong to darkness and night. So be on your guard, not asleep like the others. Stay alert and be clear-headed. Night is the time when people sleep and drinkers get drunk. But let us who live in the light be clear-headed, protected by the armor of faith and love, and wearing as our helmet the confidence of our salvation. For God chose to save us through our Lord Jesus Christ, not to pour out his anger on us. Christ died for us so that whether we are dead or alive when he returns, we can live with him forever. So encourage each other, build each other up, just as you are already doing." 1 Thessalonians 5, 5 through 11. So Rock read to Sam, and darkness retreated. Samantha Lynn Flynn, a child of light, not darkness. She listened to Rock's voice and heard the word of God and remembered the truth. She shook her head and dumped out all the voices of the devil that screamed at her how much she messed up, how much she disappointed her parents, how much she had been betrayed by Aubrey, how mistreated she was by the world, how unfair it was that she was seeing things that if anyone knew, they would commit her to an asylum. Then Ellen was there. She lay down beside Sam. She gently stroked her hair. Her wings covered Sam and hid her from darkness. Rock read. Ellen prayed. Sam slept. At peace, the peace that only the grace of God can bring.